back to my channel. If you have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. As most of you know, I'm making my wedding gown and my rehearsal dinner dress, and yesterday my fabric arrived, and it arrived on a bolt. Thank you, Mood Fabrics. This is the front of the fabric, and I'm using the back of the fabric to construct the gown. It's a little less crazy and shiny, which I like. So yesterday I decided, since I had the fabric, I wanted to go ahead and play around with the construction a little bit, just to get used to working with the fabric. Every fabric sews and reacts to heat, and just it's kind of its own, it has its own personality. So I wanted to get used to it before I actually started constructing the gown. So I went ahead and cut out my bodice. I'm using Vogue 9100, which is a custom fit bodice with different cup sizes. And you can kind of see here that this bodice has kind of a pseudo princess seam with kind of a square neck and then a lower back. And this bodice, I made this a couple years ago, and it actually creates a point right on the bust point. So I've actually had to shave off some curve on these pattern pieces just to get it to lay a little bit flatter. And I'm pairing it with Simplicity 1099, this long skirt. Now, this skirt has 8 pleats in it, which is gonna create a ton of fullness up at the waist, which I would rather not have. So I've actually taken out the pleats, so this will hang more like a 3/4 or full circle skirt, which will be really nice and exciting. So moving on to the bodice and the fabric. So I learned a few things about this fabric when I worked with it. It frays like mad, which I was kind of expecting, and it hates water. So the second I accidentally spilled some iron water on it, the pieces that connected, you've got this silver and then you've got the weave underneath, they kind of separated. So it doesn't really like water. It's like a demogorgon. So there are a couple things I need to add to this fabric before I ever start constructing the dress. And so basically some foundational elements. I'm going to use stay tape along the neckline and armholes. I'm going to use twill tape at the shoulder seams. I increase the seam allowance to 1 inch from 5/8 of an inch up here, just to keep this a little higher than low. I'm also going to cut the entire dress in cotton muslin. So every pattern piece, once I have the foundational elements in, I will underline this in cotton muslin, and then the brocade and the cotton will act as one fabric for the duration of construction. And I'm doing this mostly to add some strength to the brocade, but also to add that sort of heft that you see in gowns, where you can basically set them down and they stand up on their own. I also am going to reduce the seam allowance on the lining to 1/2 inch from 5/8 of an inch. This bodice already sits pretty low on the bust, and it's incredibly flattering. But this is a wedding after all. I don't need to be flashing too much cleavage. So I'm going to take the seam allowance to 1/2 inch instead of 5/8 of an inch. I also added 1/2 inch to my side seams. The last time I made this pattern, I made it in wool gabardine, and it is very snug. And I added, I had twill tape at the waistline as well with that skirt. I used the skirt that came with the pattern. And it's a little snug. So if I want to eat at the wedding or move around, I'd rather be comfortable. So I added 1/2 inch to the side seams. I'm going to add twill tape to the waistline, and this is just a nice way to make this nice and sturdy for when I attach the skirt. The skirt will also be underlined in muslin as well, because I want the fullness in the skirt that underlining it will provide, and then everything will be lined as well. What else here? Okay, I'm also considering adding boning to the 6 seams. So you've got 2 seams in the front, 2 shoulder seams, and then we have 2 seams in the back. My dress form is a little bit bigger than me. I should have purchased a smaller one and then padded her out, but whatever. I've got 6 seams here that I'm highly considering adding boning to. I don't really need it. I originally was not going to wear a bra with this, and I've changed my mind. I think I am going to. So the boning will just add additional structure. I'm going to play around with that and see what I think about it first. So I will make this entire thing in muslin and then stitch in the boning and then try it on and see how it feels. And if it's really uncomfortable, I'm going to punt that. I'm also going to add bra strap hooks because I've decided to wear a bra unless I get the boning in and I just don't need one. I'm about a 36D or 36 double D depending on the bra, and I definitely need the support, but if there's lining and structure, I may not need it. So bra strap hooks if I end up going with a bra, and then I wrote which bra I was going to wear because they all change your shape depending on how they're structured. So this is my first pass at this. I tried it on. I love it. It's gorgeous. I think the combination of these two patterns are going to be spectacular. And especially taking out some of that weight in the skirt it's still going to be very impactful, but it's not going to be as full and heavy up at the waist. So I definitely don't want to create any pulling down here. The fabric is pretty, it's pretty opaque. It is probably medium weight, light medium weight, oops. But it is fragile, so I want to make sure that I have added in the foundational elements that will keep it sturdy. I did consider adding a waistband, but I think I'm going to leave that out and just do the twill tape and make sure that everything is nice and supported. So this is take one of my wedding bodice. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. I've gotten several comments on my lighting, and trust me, lights are on my Amazon Christmas wish list. So hopefully I'll have lights soon, at least that can illuminate, but I tried to do a good job of getting enough light where you could actually see kind of the shine of the fabric. And again, this is the wrong side of the fabric. The right side is just nuts, and I love it, but I don't love it for an elegant wedding. So I'm actually using the wrong side of the fabric that looks just as gorgeous. Anyway, thanks for watching, especially as I go on this journey of making my own wedding dress. I've made formal wear for other people, and it's very exciting, and I'm excited to do it for myself. So leave a comment or like below, and I'll see you guys next time. I hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.